guys all satisfied with the previous meeting or previous non-meeting?
What's that?
You satisfied with the previous non-meeting?
Yes. Are we going to go
Afterwards.
afterwards?
We'll have to do it after because there's no time now.
I'll sort of figure that. Okay.
Here's your signature stuff. Signature. And our normal recording clerk is back.
Okay.
Brenda.
Okay. All right. Good evening, folks, and welcome to the Board of Selectmen's meeting, September 11th, 2017. Would you please stand for the pledge of allegiance?
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thanks again, everybody, for coming tonight. Under acknowledgements for our birthdays, we have Jeanette Sternum, with the tax collector. We have Tabitha Robichaud, rec. Raina Gregory with a rec. Andy Lucier with a fire. Jason Burnhams with a fire. And our very own Mr. Patrick Smith with a highway. I just want to wish all these folks a happy birthday and thank them for all their services to the town of Milton. Unfortunately, on the other side with the deaths, we have Joshua Levinetz, Michael Pozaks, I know I'm murdering that name, I apologize, and David Mongovin. And before I would bow our heads for a moment of prayer, I also would we would like to take a few moments to remember those lives lost on 9/11. Our country and our world has forever been changed, and we remember the countless acts of bravery by our fellow citizens as we mourn those lost and the lives impacted by this day. And please keep in mind with the individuals impacted by the hurricanes the past 2 weeks, we as a community hope for the best of all of these people that have been impacted. So if we could just bow our heads for a moment. Thank you. So up next on old business, we have the discussion and the possibility actions of the approval on the hazard mitigation plan. So I've looked at it again. It has no red flags here, of course. Do you guys have any questions?
No, but Rick is ready to make a motion.
I'm good with it.
Okay?
Okay.
All right. I will make that motion to approve the Milton, New Hampshire multi-hazard mitigation plan updated 2017.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Is there a copy that we all get to sign, or no? This one? Okay.
I don't know where I got this.
Okay. All right. So up next, under new business, is Alex here?
No, she isn't. I talked to her this afternoon.
Okay.
She had requested that the new buyers of the new fire station turn the lights over to their name to do measuring and to get the place ready. But because they just want to start planning for office space and desks and things like that, or to allow them to pay whatever our bill is. But it's up to you guys to decide what to do.
Well, we were just advised
Hmm.
by our new legal counsel not to change the name over to them for the lights. And I don't see why it wouldn't be a good idea to have them pay the light bill
What they
that
use.
what they use right now as it is.
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine they're gonna be spending that much time in there that the light bill, I mean, they're giving us decent money for the building.
Yeah.
I think,
So give them access with maybe somebody from the fire department.
Yeah, or,
yeah, somebody needs to be with them if they,
If
You
they don't
have
actually own the
access.
building yet.
right, that's my opinion.
Okay.
Public works,
And
works
so-
you didn't do.
Or Public Works.
yes.
We're not around.
Yeah,
And it'd be a liability because we still own that
Right.
building.
Just to be clear, though, the meter's been pulled, so
Okay,
that would
that's
have to, a work order probably have to be put in. Right?
So that it was off.
Well, I got the bill. Our bill is actually still includes that. When I looked at the light bill last month, it listed that on there because I purposely looked at that bill.
There's no power there.
I thought we shut that
Yeah,
off, yeah.
pretty sure we pulled the meter.
I'll
Is it-
double
That's
check
what
it,
they
but we
wanted
put
to
in a
do.
work order.
Yeah, but
for that.
we're getting billed for that. The Eversource, because that's one of the things I looked
Sure
at.
it's not in that station?
No, it's that one particularly because there was another reason why I was looking at
Can you show me
it.
the bill tomorrow?
Yes.
I'll take
Actually,
that.
Wednesday, tomorrow I'm in a workshop all day, but I will show you
Okay,
Wednesday.
You can give me a copy of that bill.
It's
I'll
the
take care of it.
Eversource bill for that place.
Yep.
Because I wanted to have that changed anyways. I was trying to get the new fire station put on the
She'll
other
have
one.
to put in the paperwork to have the electricity put back on.
But
But
we
I
are,
want to make sure that we get our name off of it.
well, we can't right now.
Yeah,
Well, I
that's-
mean, off of the electric bill.
yeah, well, that's gonna be an issue, unfortunately.
But she should be able to put the power on. Like if you were.
Yeah, but
We have to keep it in
unfortunately,
town.
Pat, our legal counsel advised us not to put it in their name yet.
Yep, all right.
So,
But I'll take care of it and make sure it's shut off.
Well, we don't want it shut off.
You want it shut
We
off?
want to keep it on. But the issue is that we are still getting billed for it,
Okay,
It's just
we
you-
pulled the meter when we winterized it.
which was last year.
Yeah. Last fall. Should have been last fall.
Yeah, last
early-
winter.
Last
It was,
winter.
yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Because I went through the
February,
bill
March,
specifically for that.
I called him and asked him if
Because
he
I was
wanted me
looking
to
for
shut
the
it down.
discount
hmm,
for the different buildings for the town owned.
I'll check it again.
Okay.
I mean, 'cause I don't wanna have to
No.
go and pay for us to have to pay to get that turned back on. You know,
No, I don't
that's-
think we
Well,
should,
they
but
would.
They
They would pay
would.
to have it turned it back on and
Right.
agree to pay the light bills as they go on.
As long as it's in our name.
Right, but it still needs to stay in our name until,
But the issue is I think we're still getting billed for it.
we'll find out.
Yeah, but I mean, I looked at that specifically as it relates to the discount position. Okay.
So up next, so they also requested permission to submit a site plan to the planning board, which I don't have a problem with.
Absolutely.
yeah, I don't have a problem with it either, as long as they understand that no guarantees until everything's finalized.
Hmm.
Okay, so can you make a motion?
Wanna make a motion?
Sure, I'll make a motion to allow the new residents or the buyers of the new fire station to submit a plan to the planning board with no guarantees.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. So up next is Mr. Cadwick, request for the approval for the cemetery trustees volunteer cemetery cleanup day. So, floor is yours, John.
Yeah, my name is John Cowick. I'm here to get approval to start a volunteer cemetery cleanup day for the Milton NH Cemetery to start off with. The planned time is to do it starting next year. And I'm assuming you've all read the proposal we put together,
Mhm.
cemetery trustees. And I guess I'm looking for feedback, Mr. Chairman. I'd appreciate it if you'd read it to the public so that they'll understand it also.
Yeah. And we'll do that. Do you have that right there?
I do.
Thank you. So the scope, form a voluntary group that is affiliated with the cemetery trustees and falls under the guidance. This group would clean up and maintain the Milton Mills cemeteries once in 2018 with a goal to expand the number of times in the following years. This would benefit the community and the cemetery trustees by encouraging neighborly activities, togetherness, while lessening our tax burden. Would you want me to read the whole thing, John?
Yeah, I think the
Okay.
next thing's important. to
Okay,
read the
yeah,
possible methods, yeah.
Sure. Possible methods of soliciting volunteers. Reaching out to the Facebook groups, Milton, New Hampshire Community News, Our Milton Home, etc. Soliciting help from the area businesses that may be interested in offering a benefit to the employees for participating or just are interested in helping out the civic duty. Reaching out to the high school for students who are seeking to get some type of volunteer activity on their resumes for college. Asking area businesses to help advertise for seeking of volunteers, and seeking out to the Boy Scouts. A typical cleanup event would include putting together a list of volunteers who would be willing to do one of the following: clean up the cemetery, removal of branches, brush, trash, flowers, bagging, mowing, the loaning of mower or equipment if someone can loan the equipment but doesn't have the time, painting, transportation of equipment, advertising and gathering volunteers, some small fundraisers, possibly for pizza or soda for the volunteers, and or repayment of gasoline use. The following through the signing of a liability form of everyone involved, in which a template already exists, would need to be completed. A leader would be chosen, and this person would organize this event, assess the volunteer list, and give direction leading up to and including the day of the event. Assessment. An assessment of how successful the activity was will be completed at the end of the event. This would take into account how successful the cleanup was at the location, how well the planning process was leading up to the event, and the sentiment of the volunteers involved and how happy they were with the event, and their willingness to continue involvement in the following events.
Any comments?
No, I mean, I think it's a great idea, and I know that there's, a lot of cemeteries in town, and with some extra help would,
Yeah,
take it.
perfect example of this is what we've gone through in the last year, a year or going on 2 years. The Boy Scouts have stepped up to the plate and done a tremendous amount of volunteer work
Yeah.
for the town, including cemeteries. My goal would be to reach to the school system now, and I'm going to be doing that,
Mhm.
and seeing if we can't get the same cooperation out of the school system that we have the Boy Scouts of Milton, New Hampshire. I think it's a good program, and we'll give it a shot if we get approval.
Mhm. No, and I'm of course I'm all on board. How about you guys?
Yep.
I'm on board.
All right.
I want to make a motion
Oh, definitely.
for approval for the cemetery trustees to form a voluntary cemetery cleanup days.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And I have one other. I'm sorry. Okay. I have one other thing, Heather. I was the rep, Selectman's rep, to the cemetery trustees. Unfortunately, they meet during the day, like at 10 o'clock. Unfortunately, I can't make it. I'm sure you folks can't either. Right? Stand corrected?
Correct.
Right.
I can.
So, is that something that you could? It's like an hour meeting once. What? Is it once a
It
month?
usually runs about an hour,
I
Yeah.
can make it. What day of the week is it, John?
once a month,
What day, though?
the 20th,
No, what, usually
Wednesday.
Wednesdays are usually good.
Okay. So,
10
so,
a.m.
Is it here?
Yes, right here.
That's perfect.
yeah, so you'd be able to sit and take notes and
Take notes
And
and let you know what
inform,
happened.
yeah, all right, perfect.
In line with that, I don't want to jump out of sequence. In line with that, the reason why we need participation from the leaders of town, in the next 12 months, the cemetery business is going to be stronger and stronger and stronger and create more and more and more work. And I think it's important that somebody representing the leader of the town is sitting in on these meetings. I have Alton, the town of Alton coming to this meeting. This next one, maybe even Liz Dion will be there because she's the town administrator, the secretary and the manager of the cemetery business over there.
Okay. Yeah, if it wasn't during the day, John, I'd love to go.
Oh, I know that. I know you have to work.
Yeah.
I'm just saying if we could,
Yeah.
I'd appreciate it.
Yeah, most definitely. Did you want to say something, Mike?
So you think the Alton administrator is going to be on the 20th, you said, this month?
I've talked to Alton, you're talking to?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've talked to her several times. I talked to the secretary today, and she's definitely going to make it. If Liz can fit it in her schedule, she may come too.
Okay.
They've been in a big change over the last 2 years, and it looks like we may be recommended to move the same way they are over there. Rochester's already done it. Like I said, I don't want to get it out of sequence here, but there's a lot to it.
Sure.
Good.
Thank you, John.
Yeah.
Do you want to make a motion? Can I also say something? I know Mike's day off is Wednesday. Would you like to join me? I didn't know if you wanted to
Sure.
join me. I don't want to leave you out, Mike.
Actually, I was gonna volunteer to
Oh,
go to
okay.
that meeting, 'cause I'm here on Wednesday mornings anyway.
Didn't want to make you feel left out. That's all.
Thanks, thank you, Heather.
All right. So,
You didn't vote.
he made a motion.
Who seconded?
Yeah.
You second?
I
Yeah,
second.
yeah.
Ryan,
Yeah.
okay.
It's all in, it's all
Okay, Andy.
passed.
Okay.
Majority vote. So up next is a discussion on putting a fire hydrant that would connect directly into the pond. And Stan Nado's here. What he's really looking for, he'll explain what he'd like to do, and he just wants our blessing so he can move forward with talking to the trustees. Right. So.
I understand you know the Milton Water District. Excuse me, I can't remember the name of the trustee that the old police station was, that piece of property downtown.
Yeah.
If I'm correct, it has to be used for public, for the best for the public. And my thoughts were to put a pipe going into the lake, pond, whatever you want to call it, and that fire department could hook up to it any time, no matter, because I have a fear of downtown, if all those buildings was to go up, that we couldn't supply enough water to put them out.
Mm-hmm.
So my thoughts was, obviously we can't upgrade the system, but if the town was willing to give the property to the water district, and with the agreement that the trustees would allow this, and then I'd have it put on a warrant article next year to have the money to put that pipe and put a fence around it, and it would be for the fire department only to use. Just a thought. I did approach the board. I know you two have the same thought, and they didn't want to do it, but I still have fears of downtown. Not only that, if something was to happen elsewhere, you could always hook onto that and pump. You know, it might be a long hose. But I'm trying to think of ways, because we have an old system.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to think of ways that protect this town.
Wasn't there a deed issue with that piece of property? Which Karen Brown knows about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I mean, if he has our blessing tonight, you know, to move forward to ask Karen Brown, you know, that's really what he's looking for, I think, tonight.
Right, both of us to go approach the trustees and say, this is what I'd like to do.
Yeah.
The water district can't spend money on anyone else's property, you know, so we'd have to be donated to the water district.
Mhm.
It's in the bylaws, like, we can't spend money, you know, like on someone's house even. We have to take care of that, and the curb stop in. So we'd have to have it put under the flag of the water district, and in
Mhm.
turn, there'd be, you know, the pipe would be put in. And if we don't get the money, then it would be null and void.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Again, it's for the interest of the town, protect downtown and surrounding areas, however far the fire department chose to pump from if they needed to. Hope they don't, you know, hope we never use it.
Right. Right.
I just think if that doesn't qualify for the best interest of the town, I don't know what you're gonna qualify to use that property for.
Mhm.
I mean, it's a postage stamp to begin with.
Right.
It's a small,
I wonder if it's for the best interest of the town probably has to always keep the property.
no. The
I guess we'd have to
the
look
trustees,
into
I sat on the trustees, and there's a couple things that were gonna happen with that property. And it all boiled down to the person that left it, and I forget that, was it Durgan?
Yes.
Something?
Yeah,
Durgan
Durgan.
Fund.
Durgan Fund?
All right, and they left it with, it had to be used for the best interest of the town. There's nothing in there saying it has to stay in the possession of the town. It has to be used for the best interest. The town one time sold it.
Right. We almost sold it,
Yeah.
no, we almost sold it a year ago.
Yeah, more than that. Yeah, to the-
No, I was on the board, remember?
yeah, but
Mike?
they actually took a deposit on it a few years ago.
Oh, really?
And, but if this, I don't see how this wouldn't qualify as the best interest of the town.
Mhm.
Kind of, safety purposes. I mean, that's just my thoughts. I mean, just trying to, as a, commissioner of the water district, we're trying to supply more water to the fire department and make sure that we can do what we need to do.
Mhm.
We can't turn the pumps up anymore, and we have, this is an old system.
Right, right. No, I mean, I think it's a good idea. I mean, this is really just, we're just really honestly just talking about it right now. He's not looking for, he's really just looking for our blessings to move on to the trustees.
Well, I would need a commitment from the town saying that if the trustees allowed the purpose, then the town would support it and the transaction would happen, with the understanding that we get the funding to put our part of it.
Right.
There was a hiccup with that Durgan Fund. I think we're missing a key player here. Karen should have been here. She knows all about that.
And she's sick.
Yeah, I know, and
Unfortunately.
yeah, I know
You
that, I'm
can
saying.
take your time on this, this isn't gonna happen overnight.
Yeah.
But, I mean, the office is still there. I can't see of any other way we can protect this town water-wise,
Mhm.
any more than we're doing without doing something like this.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, I realize it's just this preliminary, and when,
I mean, I think it's a great idea and a great thing to look into, but I guess before really making a decision, it'd be nice to actually have like a written proposal of some sort, maybe where the water district's talk to the fire department and
We
what's
can.
being put
I
in
mean-
is gonna benefit the fire department, you know what I mean?
I mean,
Just to,
I thought we'd have an open discussion about it,
Yep.
But,
Yeah.
whatever. I mean, you people can do your due diligence and let me know if you want to proceed forward,
most definitely. I mean, I like the idea, I mean, we just had a fire out back of one of the buildings back there, was it over the summer, right?
The brush fire?
Yeah, I mean,
Might have been last year.
or last year. So, I mean, you can't never do enough,
I mean, there's no secret
when it
that
comes to,
our system doesn't have a high flow rate, the chief can tell you that. And I'm just trying to think of ways to,
Mhm.
do our part and try to make sure we do whatever we can.
Yeah. I mean, you can't put a dollar figure to safety.
And obviously, that would be part of their hydrant fee, it'll be included in that. And when we nothing's different, it'll be all included in that.
Sure. Do you want to say anything,
No, I was-
Chief?
Now seems like a good a time as any to mention to Stan that there's some things that you can do to help the town overall with the water district. One being annual hydrant inspections, biannual flushing, and a periodic flow test, which is documented and given to us in our possession.
Well, I believe
Which
the flow test was done, that's my knowledge, not too long ago.
every hydrant needs to be done periodically. Every so many years, there needs to be a certain percentage of the entire system done.
If you feel as a fire department that's a necessity, then you're all welcome to come to our meeting and we'll discuss it. No differently when the chairman came to our meeting about something else,
Yeah.
and we'll get it all on record what needs to be done. I don't think this is the time to go over that right here, because the other two commissioners aren't here.
No, that's fine. It's something we need to do, and we're willing to do it, but I know that every time we open hydrants, there's problems.
Well, it sets off a lot of alarms if it's not done right. And I don't mean by the way, there's certain procedures. It's an old system. We got some new pumps, but the system itself is old.
And all that has to do with our ISO rating. And to get the proper ISO rating, that needs to be done regularly,
Yeah.
which would help everybody's insurance.
Now, let me ask you a question. Would this pipe into the lake help that ISO rating?
Potentially, yes.
Yeah, well, see, we'll do what we can. I mean, come to the meeting next, you know where we are, last Tuesday of the month.
Okay.
But I really can't speak on that, without them here or at a meeting, I can't speak about it with them on that, for them on that.
Okay, no, I mean,
The only concern I have with that particular lot is the size of it and getting a truck into it.
Well, you wouldn't
Have
have,
to-
we'd put a fence around, you'd probably have to just pull up and block the neighbor's yard or whatever, and at that point, I don't think they'd care. You know, if there's a major fire, I don't think they'd care, you know? But we put a fence around it and have the pipe either come right out the end of the fence or have a key, you know, padlock, whatever you'd want. I don't,
We'll figure it out.
yeah, that's details. I'm not worried about that. But I just think that lot sits there, residents are using it, which, you know, is not in the best interest of the town either for liability reasons. I think it should be put to a good purpose.
totally agree. Whatever it might be, and this is good, you know,
It's an idea.
yeah. So,
So we're tabling this for now?
yeah, I mean, we'll table it, we can,
We need to look into for that Durgan fund, to find out
Yeah,
why
we-
it hasn't been occupied to this date. This has been going on for years with that lot.
yeah, I mean, we can talk to Karen and, Mrs. Trafton, and, you know,
All I can say is, when I was on the trustee of the trust funds,
yep,
the bottom line was it could only be used for something for the best interest of the town. It couldn't be sold to a resident or an individual. It had to be used for something to better the town. That's what I was told.
Okay.
And this should qualify.
yeah, I would think. All right, so, yeah, thank you, Stan. So,
Thank you.
so up next, if you don't mind, Stan, could you just stay for 10 more minutes? I appreciate it. So up next, where I already went and talked to you, so up next is the discussion of putting the water back in the Veterans Park. And I went down, I talked to Stan,
We talked to the board.
I talked to the board, I apologize, I stand correct. There's that for you, this is for, they're the same. Pass them on. You can take that. So I talked to Stan, they got some numbers together for us, and you know, unfortunately, it was a little bit more than I thought, but you know, it is what it is. I don't set these prices. All the the list of price, the item numbers. This is all parts, and you know, they're selling. These are all at cost. They're not upping any of the parts.
Well, there was a term for that. As a board, we made two motions. One was to waive the connection fee. That was $1,000. So
Right.
that was
I was
not
gonna
in
get to
there.
that, but-
Secondly, that if the town was going to pay them directly, then you can buy them at cost, because if it goes through us, then we have to do some kind of a markup. All right? So I think it'd be best just let the town pay directly, and then they don't cost any more than what they truly cost.
Right, right. So, so for the parts, it was $1,641, and then for the excavation, the trucking, tapping into the existing water line with the proper taps, we figured around $2,000.
As I told you, I'm not good with that part of it. That's Steve's
Mhm.
gig.
But-
If that's what he's told you, probably accurate. I mean, that night we were thinking, but we didn't
Right.
say set them out.
Right. So, I mean, you know, we've kicked this can down the road, and, you know, they've taken the Christmas tree down, they've planted new grass in there. A few of the veterans that are in here tonight, Bob, I apologize, your colleagues' names, I don't know. If you want to introduce them, Bob, go ahead.
Paul Carlson, Charles Montgomery, Doug Shute.
Doug Shue. So I know they've been down there working on the Veterans Park. I saw that the Christmas tree has been taken down, and they're going to be planting a new one. So, I mean, at the end of the day, we need water back in the park. And I think this year we're in good standings where we can afford to put the water back. I've talked to Pat. He's on board. He you know, he agreed that the water we need water at the park. And so, really what I'm looking for here is, I can make a motion, but at the end of the day, that's really where we're at with putting the water back in the park. Do you guys want to?
Well, would have been nice to have this before. All our agenda request says is putting water in the park. I completely agree. Water should be put in the park.
Well, really,
talked about this way too much. It's gone on way too long.
Yeah. Well, really,
we just put to bed.
All this is just the items they're going to be using to put.
So your total cost you're not sure about yet.
Yeah. If I made a motion to spend no more than $4,000 to put the water back in the park, that would be my motion. To spend no more than $4,000 to put the water back in the park. Moving forward, there is going to be, there's going to be a water bill. I told Pat that he's going to have to put that into his budget moving forward, coming up. But he's going to want to say something. Go ahead, Pat.
I do support putting the water back in the park for the veterans and for the residents themselves. What I'm opposed to is a bill for the residents of this town to pay for water to water their park. I've heard comments tonight that the water district wants to do things to benefit the public. I think that would be a really good donation to benefit the public to donate that water. It's only going to be 3 months out of the year that we're going to use water there, and it's going to be shut off after that. So it's not like it's a service that's going to be running year-round. It's also going to be under lock and key, so not everybody's going to be able to walk up there and get into that water. So that's the part I have a problem with. In the past, the water district has asked me to waive fees and bonds for the roads, and we've done that out of the spirit of teamwork. And what I'm going to do tonight is ask Mr. Nato and that board, out of the spirit of teamwork, is to donate that water to the veterans of the town.
I can't speak on it without the other two commissioners. It's business, and I can't speak for them.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what he expects from me tonight.
Mm-hmm.
So,
what is your thoughts, though? Your thoughts?
Well, I'm not sure if it's a bylaw or if it's an unwritten law or something, but there's always been said no free water. I got to check into that. I think it might be from the state level, first of all. Second of all, we did make a donation. We waived the $1,000 connection fee. So it's not like we haven't done nothing.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're going to have a guy there. He's going to help do the installation. We're not asking for any, repayment of our man because he's there doing it.
Right.
Other than that, I can't talk other business that hasn't been already voted by the board.
So by putting in Pat's budget, we're asking the entire town to chip in for this too, not just the water district.
Well, it's town property.
Mm-hmm.
Just as like the school. I mean, the school has puts in their budget to pay for the water. On seasonal homes, because I don't want this to be the hiccup of getting water put back in the Veterans Park. It shouldn't be a hiccup because it would be behooved us if it was. Because for one, it's our veterans.
I so heartily agree.
But let me just say this: on seasonal homes that they turn off their water meters.
You take the meter out.
You take the meter out. Is that an option?
You should do that anyway, but it's not going to eliminate the bill. The way it's no different than Eversource. You get two parts of a bill. You get the part that says here to supply the power to the property, then what you actually use. There's two parts. Same thing with water. You get the service part of it to have it available to you,
Mm-hmm.
and then what you actually use. So seasonal homes still pay the monthly charge 12 months of the year.
What is that monthly charge?
For a seasonal home, I think it's for 3 months, we
No,
do quarterly.
Yes.
I think it's like $105 for 3 months, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I was going to get to that.
Yeah.
But how about this too? Why can't we put on the district's warrant article to have, put a warrant article out there, for next year maybe, not, you know, of course we can't, it wouldn't help us right now, but for next year, put on the district's warrant article to ask the users of the water to see if they would want to waive the water fee for the Veterans Park.
That would possibly be an option. Again, I can't say without talking to in a meeting with the other two commissioners. No differently than, you know, if you were by yourself, you can't say what
Right.
the board would think. So, and I also got to talk to legal to see if we can legally do it.
Right. But I kind of already did a couple of those steps, and that's how I came up with this. But I just wanted to see what your opinion was on, you know, putting on, you know, the Water Commission's, you know, warrant article.
So did you ask the question at the Water District meeting if they would?
No, I asked another commissioner what, you know, her thoughts was, and you know, this is actually a thought of hers, was to put it out there, not to let 3 commissioners decide, let the district decide. You know,
It's under our control.
right. So
Because the state does put a lot of, I can't come up with the word, they got their thumb on us, on what we can and cannot do,
mhm,
more so than you think.
right. No, I totally understand.
So I'm all for, I mean, we need water down there, there's no question about it. I think we're all for that, but it seems like this may be in front of us a little premature, because I don't think we have all the
Well,
information.
we're not gonna have
How
our
so?
meeting until April, so if you want water put in for next year, you almost gotta act, either if you want it done this year, you gotta act real soon, because we're gonna stop digging probably November.
Well, I mean, it's, this year, it's almost too late.
Well, I'm just asking you if you do,
I think.
what?
No, I mean, I don't think it's too late. For one, we're in good standings this year to be able to pay for this. I don't know what next year is going to bring, and we have the money right now to put the water back into the Veterans Park, and you know, for right now, would have to eat the water bill for the rest of this year, but we could work on trying to. I mean, we could even maybe get some donations or whatever. I mean, I'd have to work on that, but I just think that it's very crucial where they've already planted grass down there. They have a new tree coming in. That's how the old tree died, lack of water, and I just. You know, I would really like to move forward. You want to say something, Bob?
Yeah. Bob Graham from VFW. By the end of the month, we'll be putting in more topsoil and sod. So we need water, because the sod has to be watered twice a day until it gets too cold to water. So we need to do this pretty quick. And the reason we have to do that is the new sidewalk that we put in is at the same level as the pavers on the monument. So it raised that area about 4.5, 5 inches. So we've got to fill that in and put the sod up against the brick and to lock it in place. Kind of urgent that we do that.
I thought we had
Anybody
a
else?
temporary agreement with a neighbor that was helping with the water situation.
Well, I think, did anybody reach out to that neighbor there? Because we had offered to even pay the extra water bill on that.
I mean,
Pat was gonna.
we talked about, you know, a temporary solution with a neighbor, but
Yeah, I hadn't seen her yet.
yeah, you know, like I said, it's a temporary solution, but you know, unfortunately, it didn't even, as of right now, didn't even pan out. So, I mean,
You don't even have an excavation person.
yes, we do, Ryan.
We have one.
Yeah, it's all to do with the water.
The same person does excavation would do the tap.
Yeah,
But the $2,000 isn't
that's
known
the
for sure.
that's the excavation. That's what that was told to me on the night that.
That's an estimate.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if you know the history of this. Years ago, when we replaced part of that main, going across there and down in Charles Street. We asked the town if they still wanted it, and they said take it out, they didn't want to pay the bill. So you have to re-tap the new pipe now because it was never tapped when we put it in.
So, I mean, I'll make a motion. If I have a second on the table, fine. If not, I tried for you folks. So my motion,
Wait a minute, you
oh,
gotta-
go ahead, Bob.
Just one more thing.
Yeah.
Over the years, starting with the monument and the flagpole and up to date, we've spent a little over $10,000 in that park,
Mhm.
just for beautification for the people.
Well, I appreciate all your hard work down there and all your services to us. So my motion is to spend no more than $4,000 on the Veterans Park, which is a town park, to put water back into the town park. And moving forward, we'll have Pat put in, and I'll get the specific number on what the water will cost. I don't think it'll be no more than $600 a year that would be using down there. But that's my motion.
Without all the information, I'm not comfortable with making a decision on this.
What information don't you
What's it gonna cost a year?
for the water?
Yeah, I mean, maybe we're better off to look at other options to get water.
We can't. I've already
We
asked.
can't, we don't even have all the information on this, and you're saying we can't look at other options.
All right, so that's my motion. If I have a second, that's fine. If I don't, I tried for the veterans. Do I have a second?
No, me.
Okay, so we'll move on. I apologize, guys. But thanks for all your hard work.
Mr. Chairman, out of curiosity, what option are you thinking, Ryan?
Maybe a well.
They won't let you. Why not? Because you don't have the square footage.
The square footage?
Yeah, when you're in the district, you have to have so much square footage clear, no trees, no nothing.
But they don't have water from the district, so they're not in the district
It's still
anymore.
part of the district.
Because the lines run right through it.
Man, yeah,
The
technically,
water commissioners, you guys can't have a special meeting on this in the next week or so to,
we're having a meeting in 2 weeks anyway.
I mean, can we have one before that to try to
I
get
don't know, I
this
can see
resolved
who's
sooner?
available. But
I mean,
I have been asked this, so,
Okay,
you know what I
so I
mean?
guess I'm asking the question, could
I will try. I can't,
could we
again,
try to get a,
I'm very
I want to work together.
I know, I'm very anal
But-
about speaking for someone else. I'm not gonna do it. I can't say what the other two people are gonna do. I don't wanna cross that line. I wanna do things right,
I understand.
and I will make an attempt to have a meeting, but I want all three commissioners there on this, not just two, because, you have a deadlock there too, But like I said earlier, if you do, well, obviously you don't, if you're gonna have it done, you should make a decision, because you're not gonna dig probably much after November.
It's not that I don't want it done. I just want to make sure we have all the details worked out before we commit. Because, I mean, quite honestly, I think it's kind of sad that this hasn't been resolved yet. I'm not saying it's necessarily anybody's particular fault. I'm just saying that I think we need to just pull together here, work as a team, come to a resolution, and move forward as quickly as possible. That's what I'm asking for everybody involved, but I'm not comfortable making a decision without having all the details. And I don't feel that we have all the details.
I know.
You gotta understand something too. We have certain requirements, as in that tap, right? We only use one certain tap, because the saddle taps we've had too many problems with. Once this is done, it becomes our problem. So it's gonna be done to how we do everything else
Mm-hmm.
before we take ownership of it. You see what I'm saying?
Right, but it's benefit for everybody in the community. It's
I
no
agree,
different
but
than any other
As
water
you're sitting there
tap.
saying you want more info, I also wanna know it's done to the specifications that every homeowner has to do. before
No,
it becomes,
I'm not saying anything about the specifications of how it's done. I'm just the details of the charges and all that and how we're
Unfortunately,
gonna.
pricing of parts has gone up considerably.
I'm not complaining about the pricing of parts. That's not my holdup.
The thing is, it's, the price of the parts is right here. The $2,000 for the excavation
In tapping.
in tapping, and that's what it is in a nutshell.
That's a one-time charge, that's fine.
That's
I
a
don't have a
one-time
problem
charge.
with a one-time charge. It's the other stuff that I'm.
And the other
concerned about.
stuff, I just said, it's $105 every 3 months
Plus usage.
plus usage. It's $500, 500 gallons, 8 cents, 8 cents,
$4 for 1,000 gallons.
$4, yeah, that's right. So, my monthly bill at my house per year, I'm gonna use a lot more water than the veterans water on their lawn. I pay about $650 a year at my own residence. So I can't imagine it would be much more than that.
But you can't speak for the other commissioners, but there's a chance that you possibly, the group would decide to maybe donate the water if possible, but you will need to get
there's
together and
always that
talk about it.
chance.
So I guess I'm just,
If this
We
was
can-
asked of me before, then I could have gone to the attorney by now. I haven't been asked that.
But there's no reason why we can't move forward. We're gonna put the water back in the park.
That's your decision.
There's no reason why we can't move forward and get the water put back in the park. Start the process. Hold on, Heather. I see your hand. Start the process, and and get the water bill, get it panned out. If
No, that never worked out in the past. I wouldn't do that.
Can I ask,
go ahead.
what's the date of your next meeting?
Last Tuesday of the month,
Okay, so that is the 26th?
I guess.
Okay, we meet on the 25th. So we discover this issue. I know it's putting it off, but if everybody's uncomfortable.
I don't have a problem with trying to, if they have a special meeting just on this prior to that next meeting, and then maybe we can try to get together after they have their meeting and make a decision. I don't have a problem with that either.
But I'm just trying to think of, then
I'm all for
that
getting
gives
this
them some
resolved, and
time.
I want to get it resolved.
Gives
We
but-
could
everybody
have a
some
joint
time.
meeting at our place if you wanted to too. That way,
You could do that. There's also, I think, people are going to do some, checking on things.
I have no problems putting it on the ballot. I'll support it. I have to make sure that it's legal, because I've been on this board for quite some time, and I've always been told that someplace, it's either RSA or some through the state or something, that it's like leakage. We only allowed to have so much water leakage per year, or we get fined. They're right on top of us about everything.
So you should have all this information at the next meeting, Stan?
If you talk about the monthly cost and everything, we get that information tomorrow morning.
You mean about
The water-
waiving?
Waiving the fees and
Waiving the
donating
fee.
the water.
I
Waiving
can't
water
tell
fee.
you about waiving anything until you talk to the board.
That's why I said at the next, you
I don't
had
even-
said there may even be some state statutes or laws that you have
I
to
need
go
to
by.
talk to the water district attorney.
Yeah,
to
so
make sure.
will you be able to do that before the next?
Perfect example. As you know, Donna and Lou, the sisters, Donna Elliott and Lou Snyder, they passed.
Yeah.
Both of them were affiliated with the water district. All right? We were gonna put a bench down the town beach and put their name on it. I was told by our town attorney, we can't spend the money that way. By our attorney, not town attorney, our attorney. He's still checking into it, but that's his knowledge, we can't spend the money that way. So it's,
So, right, so if you could look into that, and the commission could get together and talk, and maybe there's some loophole, maybe you can charge us $1, since you're still charging us, because it can't be free.
So the way I'm figuring this,
I want to work as a group, and I want to work as a team,
I
I want
do
to get
too.
this resolved.
but I
It'd
don't
be
wanna
nice if it
say
was
something
resolved
that,
yesterday.
I don't wanna say something that tomorrow it comes out as a commitment that I said. It wasn't a-
so the hiccup, okay, Bob, is who's gonna pay for the water, okay, in our own town park? And, as Mr. Bullew said last, down at the fire station, shouldn't the veterans be paying for the water at the town park? It aggravates me. No, the veterans shouldn't be paying for the water at the town park. It's a town park, we should be paying for the water. End of story. And it really upsets me, because, you folks go out and you put your life on the lines for us, and we can't even give you water at the town park. I apologize. We'll move on. next up on the
Before you put
agenda.
this to bed, do you want me to try to schedule an early meeting?
If you could, Stan, I
Just tell me
appreciate
what
it.
you want me to do. I don't know where you are with this right now, so you tell me what, I want to spin wheels or nothing,
It
but
seems like the hiccup, Stan, is,
just tell me what you would like me to do, that's all.
yeah, if you could get it onto an early meeting, if you could, let us know. But it
No,
seems
if you
like
can find out the details about what you guys are allowed to do to donate the water.
I will
and then-
talk to the attorney.
And then maybe if that isn't an option, maybe you could change the fee to $1 a month or something. Maybe you could run that by the
I
attorney.
will
Just
talk
throwing
to
stuff
the
out there.
attorney. I'm not saying nothing.
Right, no, I'm just asking to add that to the list of things.
I just can't believe the hiccup is who's going to pay for the water at our town park.
I have no problem having the people vote it in if it's legal. I have zero problem with that.
Yeah.
I just have to make sure it's legal, that's all.
Thanks, Dan.
What's up?
So I just want to ask that, so the next step is if you're going to, if you come up with possible dates, you'll send them to me, and then I'll communicate with the board?
Yeah, that's gonna be it, back and forth, huh?
Well,
All
I'm
right.
just trying to think how else we can coordinate it, because
Yeah.
if we're going to try to do a separate meeting,
What nights? Definitely off.
well, Thursday
That's
night.
a good place to
now?
start.
I'm good for any night. I don't know about my colleagues.
Thursday night's tough, but if it means putting this to rest, I'll be there.
Any night.
Most of the
All right,
nights.
so right now, let's say
I'm
it's any
playing
night but
with
Thursday.
But and Wednesday this week, there is another meeting that some of the board members are going to be at.
But we wouldn't be having it here, we'd be having it at our
Oh,
office.
okay.
Because that'd be our, I'm gonna see about making our regular meeting early.
Okay.
All right? And I'll let you know, Heather.
You'll let me know.
Sorry I couldn't give you more information, but I'm not saying something that I'll be sorry for later.
No, I appreciate all your help. Up next on
Thank
the
you, Stan.
agenda is the acceptance of the 2017 unlicensed dog warrants. Thank you.
We have 1,080 licensed dogs in town. We have 9 dogs that are unlicensed currently, only 5 residents who haven't licensed their dogs. And we're dealing with most of them. Some of them we believe may have moved out of town because we haven't had contact with them yet. But we are trying to deal with those last couple.
Yeah, the commission and the selectmen.
So what are you looking for?
All I gotta do is-
You guys just have to sign off on the end of your warrant, because the warrant that you guys signed is only good for 60 days. And that warrant ended September 1st.
So where is the warrant?
You guys should have your copy of it. There should be, Michelle should have the original copy. I don't think you have to physically sign anything to close the
Okay.
warrant. You
Do
just
you
have
need,
to
just need a
accept.
motion?
You just need a motion to accept the final findings of the warrant, and then we will deal with
I'll
the,
make that motion then for
last
the
one.
final, licensing for unlicensed dogs for.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye. Thank you.
Okay, up next, Mr. Shute requests the school board vice chair permission to have a key and the key pin code to access the town hall.
And the reason I'm asking for that is in case I can't make the meeting presently where I'm the chairman.
Yeah.
Possibility may exist, and the vice chair will take over.
Now, isn't, Mike, you're on that board, aren't you? Aren't you normally here when the school board?
Try to be. So, all our committees and boards, all the chairmen have a key and a passcode to get into this building.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't see why we couldn't do it for the same for the school. Are
But
you the vice chair, or you're the chair?
I'm chair right now.
So, okay, so.
But our
see-
vice don't have keys and keypads.
You used to be the chairman, you want,
Yeah, I know, he's
you're
the
trying to give
chair.
it to, yeah,
He's the chair, she's the vice. Our rest of our committees, the vice chairs do not have all keys and all codes to enter the town hall, is what I'm saying.
Yep.
So that's gonna be you know, something that if you guys want to, whatever you want to do. I mean, it's just a lot of keys and a lot of people that would have keys and pins to enter the town hall is what I'm
Well, they
saying.
already do. We're only asking for one more for the vice chair. So, only on this one case for the school board vice chair, I'll make a motion to have the vice chair of the
It's
school
Peg
board.
Hurd.
I know who it is.
Okay.
A key and a passcode for this town hall so they can use this facility.
Can I just say something about that
Yeah.
motion? She may not always be the chair, and I may not, vice chair, and I may not always be the vice chair.
Mhm.
So when I'm not, I will turn my key in.
Right. Oh no, I totally trust Miss Peg Hurd. I mean, it's nothing to do with that. It's just, you know.
I know I have good help, I'm able to make all the meetings.
Mhm.
I just have a quick question. Do we have a policy that addresses this at all?
Yes, we have a key policy.
But does it go into the detail of addressing that?
I've never seen the detail of this when you ask that, but I do know that we do have a key policy. Basically, the people have
But
to
is
sign
it-
out and
Right, that part of it, but does it go into detail
Well, we
of?
made a motion on it, so it's set into policy by the board here.
you know,
Right. No, I was just curious if the key policy was that detailed.
Yeah.
I-
Kathy, you can call him Kathy.
I cannot answer that, Ryan. I don't know. I know we have a key policy, and part of the policy is they have to sign a key out.
They have to sign a key out, and they have to be responsible for the key, and then when they're done, they have to put it back in. And then one of the things I collect when people are done, or Kathy collects them.
I'll second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
I have a couple more things.
Oh, sure.
Hey, what do I do to get the new keys? When do you want me to do that?
Just come in and see
What day?
Heather, and Kathy Wallensford will set up a pin up for her.
Okay.
Tomorrow's not a good day. I'm in a meeting, but after that, otherwise,
I do
if you want to
have-
come in, you can see Kathy tomorrow.
I would like to say a special thank you to Chief Kraus and Pat Smith, the Highway Department Administrator, on the speed that they did. They put those parking spaces in it on Spring Street. We solved a safety issue also. I would like to thank the chief for that also. We are going to expedite that issue. Thank you, Pat, and thank you, Chief Kraus,
Right here.
from the whole school board.
Yeah. And I'll second that. Thank you.
They're back for something. There's one, there's two.
All right. So, are you all set, Doug? No?
Yes, I am. Thank you very
Okay.
much.
So up next, we have Tom McDougal questioning the decision of Back Bay. Good. Tom?
I honestly don't remember putting in a request to talk about that. I'm going to be realistic when I say that. I don't know that I'm questioning the decision, as I thought that there was going to be a meeting where everybody, the contractors that were bidding on the project, on providing the IT support for the town, were going to meet, and my understanding was only Back Bay was the only one that was met with. And just curious as to, were they just overwhelmingly good? And that's why you said, or what were the decisions that went into, and if I'm wrong, please correct me, because I wasn't able to make it to the meeting because I believe it was too early.
Well, I know-
Maybe to speak out of work.
I know a questionnaire was sent out to all the participants that put in for it. A questionnaire was sent out. I don't know if, did you get responses from them, or?
I shared them with you.
Okay, yes, you did. Yeah, go ahead.
At the workshop, we had a workshop session after that meeting, and in the workshop session we had decided, based off from the feedback we had received from the third party we hired, that we were going to just go forward with speaking to the one that best met what the professional told us to look for. And that was when that decision was made. It was in the workshop session. So that's why we didn't meet with everybody.
Okay, like I said, you mentioned publicly you were going to, and then boom, it's Back Bay. And there discussion as to how that happened.
And
And
the-
just raise some questions and we answered, that's.
Yeah, that all was discussed in that workshop session we had, which was open to the public, and there was some public members here.
Yeah, like I said, I think it was too early, and that's why I wasn't here. Because I would try to report it, but.
And, you know, and at the end of the day, our third party, you know, told us what our best option was, and that's how we came about hiring Back Bay. So
Yeah, I think that was a good way to go, is to have somebody independent tell you,
Mhm.
especially when it's an area that may not be particularly in your wheelhouse.
Right. And they already work for the town also, so we got a lot of good feedback from the school department, so on Back Bay. So, but any other questions, Tom?
I don't think so, as long as they know that there's a MacBook back there that we'd really like to have backed up. When Google decides to start charging us for YouTube videos,
Uh-huh.
and, you know, or if that computer decides to die, we're gonna be depending on Google's good graces.
Okay.
So, you know, we got 2 years worth of videos there, I think.
Yeah, we'll have Heather ask the IT about it. No problem.
Be ashamed to have that, because it will crash.
Mhm.
Guarantee it.
Will do.
It'd be a shame to lose them.
Sure. Okay. She'll ask. She'll get right on that.
Hey, May I have a question? on
Sure.
that? You said you're gonna be charged to store those videos, you think? Is that what?
What's that? No, right now, we're using YouTube as our video hosting service, basically. And we're going it for free, because YouTube wants people to go to their site so they can open that up. YouTube's owned by Google. I can envision a time when Google says, you know what, we're paying lots of money to store everybody's videos for free, we're gonna start charging them.
No.
I'm not saying that's happening, I can envision a time, and it's nice to have a plan for, you know, if we're depending on that to provide service to backup for our videos,
Mm-hmm.
which is de facto what we're doing right now. If the computer was to die, which it will die, I'll guarantee it, it will go kaput. When that happens, right now, we've got no way to get those videos back other than download them off of YouTube. So if, that's a big if, it's the biggest word in English language, if Google was to decide to say, hey, we're going to start charging you to hold your videos, and the computer dies, guess what, we're going to have to pay them to get our videos back. When, you know, if we're a little proactive now, we just start backing them up. However that's done, whether it's to the town server, which will probably be just fine, police department, I don't care, just as long as they're stored somewhere besides just the computer and on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Because I, you know, Google does wonderful things, sorry, I don't trust them.
Mm-hmm.
Now, my only question is, would it be just fair for just the town to pay that fee when the school is also using that service? That's my.
Well, there's no fee yet.
In the future.
Yeah. We'll have to cross that bridge, I guess, when it comes.
School, I'd be aware of that.
Sure. Yeah. Heather will talk to Back Bay tomorrow or Wednesday. And,
I want teamwork back.
thank you.
Thank you. Well, they work for both of us, so.
Okay, up next on the agenda is...
Real quick, in that, something to double check and make sure before you start backing up 2 years worth of videos, which is a very large amount of capacity and stuff, what's that actually gonna cost? Because I looked at Back Bay's proposal and I've looked at their website. Their choice of backup system, their cloud-based service is 40, I can't remember if it was 40 or 50 cents a gig per month. It could end up costing $300, $400, $500 a month to back those up. So before you go backing those up using that mechanism, make sure that it's not going to end up costing thousands of dollars per year to back that stuff up.
Okay, thank you. All right, up next is Tom's
Where's Hannah?
Better
half.
The painter of the family.
Yes, Miss McDougal, go ahead.
I think we can take all these three things and put them into one. How about that? Will that make it easier?
Whatever you'd like to do.
All I want to do is help you guys out. So I made a spreadsheet You guys can look at it maybe after the meeting or something like that. I don't know how you want to do it. I also made it where you can, if you choose to put it on the web or something like that, people can comment to you back and forth. And also, and that's a courtesy of Excel, not me. And then also there is, I can download, or somebody, whoever uses the spreadsheet, if you guys want to, you can download it into a PDF file. So that's all you see. You don't have to go through the whole database or anything like that. As of whatever the action items are that are open or closed or whatever. And I have a copy of what the PDF would look like, which is about a quarter the size of what the actual spreadsheet is. If you guys would like to see them. My pen is really lousy right now. I have too much ink in it. Can I present it to you?
Sure.
I didn't know how you guys wanted to see it live. I thought seeing it live was better, but that's just a PDF, and that's not all that's in that database, in that spreadsheet. Those were action items I took from the last meeting. Like even things that you just recently asked Heather could be put in there too, so that there's follow through and everyone can see that there's follow through. That's very simplified, but what it is traceability. Like I said, when you see the full spreadsheet, then you'll see there's a lot more to it. And it can be used in David's, because the way I made it was that he can download all the different pieces of data into what's on site.
It almost seems similar to like, Heather's been looking into we have a program now where we use for follow-ups. Where we use it with legal counsel, and she's expanding that to do pretty much the same thing you've got going on here.
Then I wish you told me that before. I wouldn't have bothered.
Well, I think she just came up with it this week, so I mean, I appreciate all your hard work.
Okay, I think that's good. You should always utilize the applications you have.
Okay.
Yeah, and actually, Mike, you
So we're all thinking we're on the same page.
Yeah.
Okay?
And actually, Mike, you used to actually do this, you know, every meeting.
Yeah.
You would bring up, you know, just unfinished business.
Well, it would help her too with gathering information. Would you be doing it right here as we talk?
No, it helps more with legal things.
Pardon me?
My spreadsheet would help more. Right now, I've been using it for legal information, the legal tracking.
Oh, and it's another spreadsheet?
Mm-hmm.
Or is it an application that?
It's a spreadsheet.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'll take this under advisement, and
No, that's all right. I pull it all back then.
No, it's a great idea.
You're already working on it.
Yeah, you're already working on it.
One of the most frustrating things is coming to the meetings, every meeting, and going over the follow-ups and not getting any results.
Right.
Like things either slipping through the cracks, and then when they don't get mentioned, it gets quiet, it goes on for months.
Well,
So you're right.
tonight's a good example of it, you know?
Mhm.
If we had that earlier, I think that would have helped out a lot,
Sure.
you know? And if this helped initiate your actions, I think that's great.
Mm.
I will say that after we get the new rugs in, you know, we are going to be working on the speaker and the microphones, so the audience can hear us. So, but we got to get some stuff done in here first
I guess that doesn't help them.
before we you know move on with that. But it is in
But
the
things are
it is in the
working.
works.
They're working, that's good.
Yeah, most definitely.
Okay.
So.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for all your hard work, Lynette. You're a huge asset to the town.
Oh, yeah, right.
Oh, you are. So you're sitting in here tonight. Am I
Yeah,
correct?
but there's a lack of communication still.
Well, hopefully we can work on that.
Yeah.
For real. Because I think transparency is, you know,
I
is
agree.
huge. So, so approval of the minutes.
So I take it, I'll ask you, Bill, have you run over the minutes?
I have.
Okay, do you have any input or changes, or?
I do on the August 7th one.
Yep. Under what?
Under new business, the first comment, they mixed up my name and Heather's name again, that's all.
Oh, yes.
And then on page 4, under the fire station bids, I just would kind of like the reason added in there why I abstained. And that was because I wanted to speak with the other 2 bidders prior to making the decision. That was kind of missed in there. Other than that, I'm good.
So would you like those added to the minutes?
Yes.
So what would you, so you...
I have this marked up if that helps.
That would help.
Accept
I'm
them.
just gonna, you'll accept them with the changes?
Yeah.
All right, so. Thank you.
And that was on August 21st?
7.
7.
Okay. Other than that,
Other than that, I'm good.
Okay.
you also have those?
Yep.
Okay, so I'll make a motion to accept the August 7th minute meetings as amended.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I will also make a motion to accept the August 21st meeting minutes as read.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, up next.
We got the treasurer's report. You all have copies of that?
Yep.
Any questions on that?
No, I mean, looks like we're in good standing.
Will you read the highlighted areas?
You want me to read them?
Yeah.
The highlighted votes under recreation revolving and recreation beach. It's after many requests for deposit receipts, the treasurer has not been able to balance these accounts due to no receipts from rec director.
Can you speak up, please, dear? I'm in the front row and I can't hear you. Thank you.
Okay. Recreation revolving and recreation beach are the 2 accounts that are highlighted that Selectman Billio asked me to read out loud. And then it says, after many requests for deposit receipts, the treasurer has not been able to balance these accounts due to no receipts from the rec director.
Okay, well, can you get a hold of Karen tomorrow?
I was planning to, but she's been out, as you know.
Yeah, she's been very sick.
So when she is...
Yeah, I mean, she's at work. You're on a, you're not gonna be here tomorrow, right?
No, so I will talk to her Wednesday.
All right.
She's back.
Yeah.
I understand she was still, like, didn't have a voice today.
Mm. Yeah, no, see what's going on.
This is, I know that's an
I mean,
issue.
there's always 2 sides of the story, so get her side.
Okay. Now, speaking of this, we will have the audit, I was reading the draft the other day. You'll have the audit probably get it the next day or so to review, and then we'll talk about that at the next meeting. And the auditors would be happy to meet with you, but we're in pretty good shape
Okay.
from what I'm reading.
Okay.
Some recommendations for different department heads. None of the ones that are here though. So.
Okay. Administrative comments?
Oh, yeah.
The expenditure reports.
Expenditure report.
I looked at the expenditure report, and I just want to say, for contracted services,
What number is that, Yellow?
it is 340.
Yep,
Okay. We're over.
because,
We're over because that's where we pay Joanne through the contracted service.
in the absence of us not having a,
Bookkeeper.
okay,
So that's over. We're also over for the vehicle maintenance because the age of the vehicle.
and what line is that?
That is 730.
We've only scheduled $500 for that
We're gonna have to
as
look
well.
at more.
So come budget season, we may have to think about adding more to that line.
And Pat and I've talked about scheduling more for
I'll
that.
give you a maintenance report, so it'll give you a good idea of what we did last year.
Mhm.
I have absorbed a little bit of your cost, I think to keep it on the road.
Thank you, Pat.
That's teamwork.
Yep.
Um,
We still having trouble with the postage machine?
mhm. We still haven't put, working on it, but today, we're just on our department that is having
I
trouble
thought
with
it
the
was just, you just needed like a battery or something.
No, we had to hook it into the had to hook into the internet, and now it's been re-hooked in, but now there's been a couple issues with getting a program. I expect to have it totally worked out by the end of this month, but it's been an ongoing issue. And it's just not our department as well that's having trouble with it. I'm really not mailing that much. The other line, memberships and dues, that's over, but it's done for the year. The other big one. If you go down to the treasurer's line, on the second page, line 850, it's like it looks like it's incredibly over. There was a couple things that we didn't plan on.
Miscellaneous?
Miscellaneous. We have 2 new deputy treasurers. We had to put that somewhere. So that's the background checks on those 2 deputy treasurers. That had to go in there. And also, she has a cell phone for in case anything happens. It's a stipend that she's been given. Let's see what else. The life insurance line is over 159%. We're still trying to figure out, it's not just Aflac. It was Aflac initially that was coming out of there, but it's a few other things. Unemployment insurance is paid for the year. It says it's at 100%.
So we're workman's comp.
Mm-hmm. Yep, they're paid.
For the life insurance, that was just unexpected.
There's an error. First off, it was Aflac that was coming out of that line, and it shouldn't be. So Joanne was looking into making that correction, and then there's something else that's been credited to that line. We just can't figure out what it is, and Joanne was off last week again. So she was trying to make that correction, but it's Aflac and something else.
Speaking of Joanne, she's still working with
Vanessa?
Yeah.
Yes, she is.
Where are we at with that? I mean, we're already over on that line, so where are we at?
Well, she has said to me that Vanessa's really picked up well, and she's hoping that over the next couple months she can cut back on her hours.
What are you estimating the end cost is going to cost us?
We have to. I think we need to sit down and have a talk with what we want. If we want Joanne to come in once or twice a month, I think that's what Joanne would like. To do that.
Yeah.
We're getting to the end of the year where there are certain things that she usually does at the end of the year, but that's what her goal is. And Vanessa has shown the capability to do a lot of the things. The more we give her, the more that she'll take on. She has never said, I can't handle
She's
something.
not ready at this time, though. How long have we been working together?
Since
She's not ready yet?
No, everything I've asked her to do, she says I can do it.
So why can't we put Joanne on call?
Well, right now, I wouldn't think that would be the most feasible thing to do, because we're coming into budget season. There's a lot of things going on, setting the tax rate. I mean, I think we need Joanne at this point. I mean, and unfortunately, we probably didn't need her at the beginning of the year, but we didn't have a bookkeeper, so it didn't play in our favor the way it worked out. But I mean, so what do you think Joanne might work? What is she working right now?
She's working every Friday.
Every Friday.
I think what I'd like to do is start by weaning her. Actually, this week she isn't working. Last week she didn't work. I'd like to talk to her maybe about weaning like down to 2, and then go down to 1, and see where we are, like you said, on call.
Not to interrupt, what did we use Joanne prior to getting a new bookkeeper when we had Kim? What was her hours when Kim was on board?
She did a lot more.
Once a month.
Yeah, she did, but she also was on call too. She did once a month, but she was on, if you looked at the bills, she was still on call. So it was 1 day a month plus a few hours here and there. I think through September, where we're going to be trying to set the tax rate this month, we need to try to keep her, usually at the end of September.
Yeah, I mean, just...
So I'd like to try to wean her. Vanessa was actually, one of my administrator comments was going to be, Vanessa actually asked if she could go to the budgeting conference that I'm going to tomorrow, and there's another date that's available at the end of the month. And she asked me today, and I said, sure, I'd be happy to sign you up for that second date. So then she says, but I'm not going to know anyone there. And I said, oh, yes, you will. And so she definitely has taken the initiative to show that she's interested in doing these things.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe the people that are going to the second one at the end of the month, they'd be happy to show her around and be welcoming to her.
Mm.
The one I'm going to?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we could all ride in the same vehicle.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
Yeah, okay. Oh, I get it.
Hint.
Yep.
Yeah, so she's not working this Friday,
Joanne, no.
right?
She's been on vacation, so I don't know if she's coming this Friday.
Mm-hmm.
She wasn't on last week, so. But there is at least something I need her to track down for me. We've been doing, really been trying to get her to do some research on something we'll talk about in non-public.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's money in the bookkeeper's line anyway.
Right,
so.
but it's the other line's over because of that.
Yeah, well, we just...
And then planning, building, and code. Planning,
Well, they're not here to talk about.
yeah, those. I'm just looking at those are over just because of they're budgeted low, but we're starting to look at these lines because the building is starting to build our budget for next year.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of, Vanessa has also indicated that she really wants to get going on that as well. So,
Okay. Doing it at the last minute never worked before?
no. No. So, I think we're trying to get there. I think some of the departments already have theirs done, from what I'm hearing.
Okay. Any questions, Ryan?
No.
You all set?
Yeah.
All right. Administrative comments.
Okay, Wednesday night there is a meeting here for the Townhouse Road Culvert Project, 6 o'clock. Wednesday night there's a meeting here for the Townhouse Road Culvert Project at 6 o'clock for those people who are interested. And it's 6 to 7 with the engineers, police, fire, highway. So it's a public meeting for anybody who's interested in that. Larry, you told me you weren't coming. You made a liar out of me.
There is speaking on behalf of an establishment not in the town, Mountain Station, they lied to me.
Okay.
They went to their winter hours, they closed, I came home and had a peanut butter bagel, and you were the next best thing.
Oh, so I'm second choice. Thanks, Larry. I told everyone you weren't coming, and then you came in. So.
You all set?
I already shared that Vanessa would like to come, and also we are going to have the employee celebration on the 22nd, which is a Friday. Half day. The town hall will be open.
Transfer station will be closed.
Transfer station will be closed. At noon,
This Friday?
Friday the 22nd, not this Friday, but the week after. And we've got a lot going on. September is a very busy month. But I think that's it. That's what I have.
All right, selectmen's comments. Ryan?
Yep, I just got one thing. I don't want to bring up the past, but I just want this for the record, and I don't want to get into a discussion about it. But the waiver for the 3-pond auto and the wall has come in. I just want to let the board know and everybody know that I'm not signing it, because it basically is pretty much useless. Won't hold up in court, and it puts the public at a potential safety risk, and I just want it on the record. I understand the majority of the board has made a decision. I'll respect that and move on, but I'm not participating in something that endangers the public. That's it.
And I'll just...
I respect you.
Yeah, I respect that, and a quick rebuttal. Our new attorneys advised us, because they're going to go to court for us, they advised us how to go about it, and we took their advisement, just so the public knows. You know, I'm not just here making waivers and so forth. I just want the public to know that it was under the advisement of our new attorney, and actually our old attorney gave us the same advisement what to do. So, and that's what we did, and that's how we move forward, putting the wall behind us. Go ahead, man.
Are you all done, Ryan? You all set?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
not
you all
gonna get
set?
into it.
Okay, yeah,
Okay.
so
Yep.
mine's for non-public.
Okay. So you're all set?
Yep.
Okay. And the only thing I have is the soccer is going very well. There was about 80 children that signed up, and I just wanted to let the public know that the kids are having a blast.
80 kids now?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
That's a lot of kids.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a lot of soccer.
Yep. So, you know, our rec director works hard, and if anybody wants to, you know, join, they'll be playing Saturday on the field. Just hop right on down there, and she has applications there and so forth, and sign your child up if he or she is wanting to play soccer. So there you go. And that's all I have.
Does your grandson play?
No, he plays basketball.
Oh, he's basketball.
No worries. Yeah, I have one other thing too, actually. Go ahead, Heather, please.
I did want to announce that we had a new person join our staff at Town Hall, so very pleased to have Danielle Marie join us. And she is our welfare administrative assistant, and she started last week. The office looks beautiful, and very pleasant addition to the Town Hall staff.
I talked to her this week, and she's just excited about working here.
Yeah.
It'll be a great addition to our team.
Good. The only other thing I have is where are we with the budget committee with the different PDF file? They wanted a CSV file. Where are we with that? You're on the budget committee.
Yeah, they talked with Sean about that. Supposed to set up a meeting to come in and talk about it to see. I guess there's just a few different changes you can make to do that. I don't know how it all works.
I mean, I checked with Nate Castle, and he said it takes him exactly 3 minutes to change from the PDF to the Excel CSV, and they're very useful. So I guess I still don't understand what the big problem was back then. But
yeah, I don't understand it, sorry.
I do have to say the formatting is totally different. The school, you can actually look at both of them, and they're comparable, but looking at the town CSV, it's like, really? So it's very difficult to match that one up. If you're looking at something and want to see something, this PDF format, you can see it. When that is extracted into the CSV, there's a lot of information that's lost, whereas the school department one the information is all still there, so I don't know what happens here. But it does not take that long to extract it and send it off into an Excel file.
Go ahead, Heather.
I was told the budget committee was going to discuss this at the next budget committee meeting.
Yeah, no, we will, on the 19th too, but.
So,
Okay, so that's where you guys are at?
Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to ask. I had a couple of phone calls, and I want to make sure I'm doing my civic duty here and bringing it up. That's all. Anything else?
Thanks, Amy.
You're welcome.
I don't have anything.
So I'll make a motion to go into non-public. Oh no, we're going to public comment.
Yeah.
I thought I could get away. All right, public comments. I apologize. The reason why this is set up a little different than normal weeks, so but it's not a big deal. It's all good. Public comments.
I have three things.
Go ahead.
School board again. I'd like to say one thank you for one of your department heads, and that was Nick, the fire chief. When we divorced ourselves of Wakefield, we had to get a different radio system. And he was in there to help us, and I never said anything. And the other thing, you said you were going to set the tax rate in September.
We're going to try.
Is there any way that a school board member could go? Is that permissible?
I mean, we talk to legal.
Yeah, I mean,
Usually it's done.
I'll give you money. I think I'm going to give you about 130 maybe, first from the school, and then there's money coming from the SAU. And that audit is done in August. There'll be money coming from that too.
Yeah, lots of money.
so what did the school have this year? Do you know?
We've got it forecasted, but I don't want to say it too loud because just in case it's not true. Right now it's right around 130, I think. But we will take care of our warrant articles.
You guys have done very good because I remember you were in the.
Well, we were really carefully watching the budget. And we wouldn't be there if your departments weren't helping us out. They've done a phenomenal job this year.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much. All of them.
Okay.
Even you was a
You.
All right. Yeah, no, you
Let me just check.
look into that.
Usually it's done.
yeah.
But let me just check. I
I
don't
won't
see
be upset
why.
if I don't have to.
But no, let me just check.
I won't hold the money there.
Okay.
We appreciate that. Anything else, Doug?
No, thank you very much.
Okay. Chief?
I just want to let the board know, I don't know if you guys saw our Facebook post letting everyone know that we are doing training with the tactical team tomorrow in the afternoon at the Milton Community Church and then at the elementary school once the school is up. So there will be officers in tactical gear there. There's no reason for fear. We are just doing a training. So we can do training here in town. We have 2 members on the team, and it assists us when our local officers can go and train with the team as well.
Mm-hmm. Very good. I mean,
Is that part of the SWAT thing?
It is, yeah. It's the Stratford County Tactical Team, so.
well, it certainly would bring some excitement to the youngsters if you did it while they were there, I'm sure, but.
I'm sure they would love to see the equipment that's there.
Sure. Okay, thanks, Chief. Nick?
I'm sure some of you heard me discussing it, but both of our ambulances are out of service, so if you see Farmingtons running around town, they were generous enough to let us use it until we get our square away. One's getting warranty paintwork done in Massachusetts. The new one is newer, the 5-year-old one, and the oldest one had mechanical problems on a call. So we'll stand by.
How are we looking on the new
The
ambulance?
newest one will be in sometime in November. I don't have it exactly yet.
Okay. Well, hopefully we're busy here.
And it's been extremely busy the last month. We did 22 calls or more last week.
Okay. Mr. Carpus?
Just a quick thought. In the past couple of weeks, I've been interacting with other towns, specifically mostly in Maine and a couple in here. And interestingly, there are quite a number of towns that have a technical committee, similar to like a budget committee, forest committee, but it's a small group of 2 or 3 people and with a selectman representative kind of thing. A lot of technical things have come up in terms of backing up systems and questions about the decision and having to go off-site. That's how there's a number of towns have resolved that. I'm like, what was his name, that's on the budget committee? Sean? I'm like, you've got a number of people in town that have like advanced degrees in computers, and maybe you could form a small committee to be an advisory committee for this. And like, if it's not in your, as you pointed out, if it's not in your wheelhouse, maybe that would be something to think about and discuss. It doesn't have to be discussed right now, but something to think about in terms of, it's like, I happen to know Thomas, for example, does know sound and audio well, and he's done that a lot in the past. You were talking about getting mics and speakers set up, and instead of having an outside party, maybe there's internal. Not to interrupt, we weren't going to have an outside party. I didn't think you were for that, but just as an example, that would be if the equipment you have is not up to being able to do the job. You've got enough people in town that probably could advise on what additional equipment would be useful. Right. Yeah, we have a highway department that is a wealth of knowledge when it comes to a little bit of everything, it seems like. So we're very fortunate. But no, we'll take that on advisement. Thank you. Anything? I know Larry's biting at the bit over here. Anybody else? Oh, Miss McDougal?
Okay. I'd like to know when we're going to start using this new system, and is it going to be to the public for tracking action items?
The system,
the spreadsheet she's talking about.
Yeah, I mean, she's working on it. I don't have a. She's been kind of busy. I wish I had a set date. I honestly don't.
Can we get a set date? Because it seems like this goes on and on and on, and things drop. Please don't interrupt me. Please let me finish what I'm saying.
Okay, you asked a question. I was trying to answer it, but go ahead.
You know, I'm really sorry if I insult you or something like that, but you're rude. And I'm really sorry if I insult you guys. You could have told me about that a long time ago. I wouldn't have wasted my time. You know that?
Lynette, I just did it this week.
Me asking you guys when we're going to start this is not an unreasonable question. Things keep falling through the cracks. The longer you wait, the longer it's going to show that they're falling through the cracks. I would think you would want to do this as soon as possible to show your progress, to show what you accomplish. Instead, you're still in the old mode.
So Lynette, again, I want to thank you for bringing this forward. Serious, okay? You're right. It's fallen between the cracks. It's old.
Yes.
Okay. You just brought this to my attention maybe 1 or 2 days ago. Okay. And I think you already had this request in.
And I think that's great.
Yeah, and you know what? It's a community. It's you mentioning it. It's her mentioning it. It's everybody pulling together.
Right.
And I think I love you. Tell you. Okay.
I just want to see it start happening.
Yeah.
Because you guys, it just doesn't.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for that. You're the best.
Okay. Mr. Brown.
Thank you. Larry Brown. A couple of meetings ago, I offered the proverb that renting last night's motel room doesn't pay. Stan left, and there are some questions about what could be done for a well for Veterans Park. For example, potable water residential drinking systems require a given acreage. To the best of my knowledge and belief, even areas which are under a water use, as this is, can still draw water for irrigation. What is the cost of a drilled point well? What is the cost, since the town owns the blue house across the street, for rehooking that water meter? and running a hose across the yard that costs you maybe $50 for a good hose at Home Depot for the warm weather left in the year.
So,
Things that might come to mind. That's one. The other issues that are not mentioned is what is the cost of an acre-inch of water, or they gave it in 1,000 gallons. The number of days that irrigation will be required. Who will be doing it? Questions like that. More importantly, if I heard correctly, the treasurer of the town has not been able to reconcile the accounts of the recreation department or commission. Which was it?
Recreation.
It's the recreation,
For what dollar amount?
the revolving rec
For-
beach.
Yeah, for what dollar amount and for what period of time? That's something that should be at a higher volume for the public to hear. It has the potential to be a serious problem or one which can be remediated. Years ago, when the number 2 pencil was in vogue, people would write a to-do list, and it would say, so-and-so will do this by a date certain. Again, about 3 meetings ago, which would be back in July, it was mentioned that speakers may or may not be adapted from this system. We have microphones. Can a speaker be provided so that everything is heard? Next point, the cost of archiving the videos. Why? How important is a video of a small rural New Hampshire community that we should be paying $400 a month to preserve them?
well, maybe to the small community people it is.
That cost basis information, minutes exist in the formal record. For 200 years, paper has carried the work of the townships of New Hampshire. Something to think about.
Thank you.
I think that's it. I thank you for your time. The discussion that the budget committee will be having is how best to use multiple formats. The discussion at the firehouse, which was not on video, was that the town is not obligated to provide materials in a format that it does not already use. The budget committee is constrained to use the information that it receives in such detail as it requires to advance the work of the budget committee and prepare the ensuing year's budget. Absent that, you can wind up with problems of excess detail. Thank you.
So the conversation with Stan, one was, and agree with Ryan, needing more information. He had said that he is under the purview of the state for some square footage that he is allowed to do that with a well. I know that, and that's what he's going to look into. I know that number one, for private wells, there is no particular square footage needed for a well, and every well is registered with the state. So it was just a matter of more information, I think, what Stan was coming up with, that we wanted.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And on the microphones, we are working on it. We just got to get the new rugs down.
When did we ever make a motion for the microphones? Because I don't think we did.
No.
I think that's one selectman said that.
No, there's no motion. There was never a motion made.
So
We have
then
microphones.
why is it an action item?
and it is a problem. I mean, I came to the I came to the ZBA meeting, and it was a huge problem. People couldn't hear. I know that we have microphones and a speaker, and I'm sure that we're going to be able to use them once we get the new rugs down. I don't know when, but that's what was said. So I don't know. I don't know really what the problem is.
I guess we'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
Yeah.
Let's get the carpets in first.
Yeah, I totally agree.
That's the end of the month. Carpets put up.
End of the month. Very good. So, anybody else? Tom?
It's just a quick comment. Just, you're digging through old archives, you're looking for the deed of your house, you're looking for something. Think about the elation you get when you see a picture of it that came from 1870. I'm not saying our records are going to, our videos are going to be around for 130, 140 years, but just think about the elation you see when you see something from time ago.
Right.
And 15 years from now, somebody might look at it. Look, Andy, that was my grandfather, your great-grandfather. There he is on the video. You don't know. You know, so you really can't put a. I'm not saying we should spend lots of money to archive them, but remember there is something to be said for seeing stuff that happened years ago. Being able to see a picture, not just words.
Mm-hmm. Thanks, Tom.
Right, you could be somebody's great grandfather.
I feel like a great grandfather.
No, but Ryan could be someday.
I did say in 15 or 20 years.
Thank you. Anybody else? Go ahead. Yeah, Doug.
Well, I want you to keep the videos, because why would you go up to the dump and have them videotape when there's a dispute instead of put it in writing? Pictures, a video is much better than something that's written, because you can see it right in action.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no,
the chief will attest to that.
Yeah, we're looking into it.
I know.
Yeah, Heather is going to call.
I know you are.
Just
But
call
that's
back.
the
I'm going to call
best
back
thing
later
we
tomorrow.
ever did.
Actually, text them.
Betsy, do you have anything in the library? I apologize.
Not for the library. I will tell you that yesterday I went to the Milton Historical Society to help them out, and they are really looking for volunteers. There is a lot of items from that era that we need to do a lot of archival work and cataloging and just volunteers to keep the organization going. So I will just say that they're meeting the second Sunday of every month at 2 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
Where? At the Historical Society, which is in Milton Mills.
Okay.
And if you haven't been in that building, it's a beautiful old building. And they have a lot of items from the townhouse and a lot of the old warrant articles and all of that information.
Okay. John?
I think what she's saying is that there is a problem kind of with the Historical Society because of age, volunteer thing.
Mm-hmm.
The two most active are just barely being able to get there and go up over the stairs to manage this business. It is a tremendous thing for the town of Milton Historical. As Betsy says, it's got ancient and historical stuff in there that you probably wouldn't find anywhere. And of course, the stuff that goes to the Milton townhouse is going to be brought back and put in the townhouse very soon. But it's something that I know Dave Orvis got involved with it now. He's a part of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if there's anybody else, but they're really starving for volunteers for the Historical Society down in Milton. Anything we can do together, all of us, it's very important we do because we cannot lose that.
Right. All right. Is that on our website?
No.
Could you ask Dana to put it on our
That'd be a good
website?
idea. Start.
Okay. Okay.
And maybe on the door.
Put on the door.
Yeah. Just
Put a note on the door.
An ad on the door.
It was the original libraries.
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay. Yeah, we'll put it on the website and on the front door, and
Yeah, if I
maybe
can get started, you know.
maybe down at the
Volunteers.
post office.
Bonnie Dunn would be she's the leader of it.
Bonnie does.
Okay. Anybody else? Going once? Okay. Thank you so much for everybody coming. I'm gonna go back on non-public.
You want?
Yes.
I didn't finish